and welcome to today's video. So right now what you're looking at is my grade 9 final art project. Today I'm going to be trying to recreate this, but maybe a bit better. When I made this I had about 3 weeks to make it. I used acrylic paint, but today I'm going to be using this canvas and I'm going to be only spending about an hour on it. So let's get into it. So I'm starting off by mixing the background colors, which are going to be darker. And I'm just going to kind of lay those out. So there were 3 criteria for this project that I remember. One is the background had to be a gradient. The second one was that there had to be like a background, a foreground, and a midground or something. And then the third criteria was that whatever's on the foreground, the main thing, front, top, everything, it had to stand out. So yeah, I'm doing the background. It's gonna be dark like I said. I want to keep kind of like the stripiness of the original one, but I also want to make it more of a gradient because that's where I lost points according to the sticky note on the back. So I'm gonna try and fix that, gradient the colors a bit more. Yeah. Now, I am aware that wet acrylic paint is shiny, especially with this light that I'm using. So I apologize for that, but it's all I've got at the moment. So, guess we're stuck with it. So now what I'm doing is I'm kind of trying to blend them by going from the left to the right in small little strokes. It kind of created more lines, but horizontal this time, but that's fine. I do think it's a little better, so like the original, just to compare. So now what I'm doing is I'm adding in the vines, or trying to. What I realized was these vines here are too dark. I'm also painting with wet acrylic on top of wet acrylic and it wasn't really working. So now I'm just going over those vines again, but this time with a lighter green. And after that I'm going to, in a moment you'll see, I'm going over with white once again because we need to make it so you can actually see those vines. There we go. Now I'm going in with white. It looks a little funky right now, but that's okay. Once it's all blended in, it's kind of going to be like a highlight and a shadow almost. And then I'm also just using my finger to kind of blend it and whatnot. And then I'm using the paintbrush with no paint on it to kind of just get rid of all the white, because we don't want pure white on this exactly. So. Just repeating that again for this one. So going by a little faster because now I know what I'm doing. Just blending it in. And now the last one, and I did have a little accident doing this one. That's why there's like an extra strand coming off of it. But that's okay. Adds character, I guess. And just blending it in. So now I am doing the flowers that are on the original piece. I don't have the same colored paints. In the original, it's kind of I had silvers and grays, and yeah, but it was like a shiny silver. I don't have that, so I'm changing it up a bit. So I'm painting the corners because I did that on the original, because I felt like it, I guess. And yeah. Now I'm adding in shadows to each one of these flowers, I guess. I think that's what I'm doing. Yeah, and now I'm adding the highlight. Just like with the vines, the highlight is at the bottom and the shadow is going to be on the top of the canvas. So almost as if the light is coming from the bottom, at least for these. I wanted to kind of stick with a similar color scheme, and that's why I'm doing kind of similar colors. So like here I'm just using gray, black and white, and I'm adding a bit of the blue background colors that I had left over into it, so that it kind of ties it all together. These do not look very pretty, but that's okay. I guess I can say this now. What I did afterwards, just before, or just after, not really just after, once it dried, I went in with a pen, or a fine marker pen, and I kind of outlined everything, added petals properly, and just like kind of tried my best to just fix it as best as I could. And it kind of looks a bit better, but yeah. Once again with the shadows and highlights, so yeah, just showing you right there. Got those corners, and I've got the flowers. So kind of just trying to show, I was trying to show that I'm using the similar colors for the flower. I was originally going to do the same flower that I had done on the original, but then I thought, let's change it up. So instead I'm going to be doing one of your, like, almost like a rose, but giant. So I'm kind of just trying to block in the background area where it's going to be, so that I'm not painting these light colors on top of this dark. Probably wouldn't work very well. So I'm just putting white down so we have light colors that you'll be able to see properly. And the original did have vines coming out of the flower, or it had leaves at least coming out of the flower. So I'm kind of trying to do something similar, but with the vines instead. Just kind of adding a few here and there. And once again, with that darker green, because I want to keep everything somewhat similar, even though I'm not doing that with the rose, which you will soon see. Trying to fix that because I got green inside the flower. So now here we go with starting it off. We've got the pink, and then we have a light purple or darker pink, and then we have a purple. And my original goal was to have each little petal its own color and be able to tell those colors apart, but in the end you can't really tell, or at least once the rose part is finished you can't really tell. So I think it's because I wasn't properly cleaning the brush between each color, so the colors kind of all blended together in the end, and it kind of just, they were all somewhat similar except for the purple. So as I get further and further away from the center, I'm also trying to make the petals a little bigger. I'm trying, at least. And now I was kind of thinking that it looked plain, all muddied together, can't really tell anything apart. So I'm kind of trying to I'm mixing all of the colors together with a bit of blue for the outside, seeing if that changes anything up. And it isn't going to. No surprise there, really. Kind of does add an outline to it though, so that might fix things slightly later on. Kind of trying to add more detail to the gray flowers. Now I'm just adding green into it, seeing if that changes anything up. It does help a little bit, definitely, but it's still not really there. And I think one of the things that is making it like this and like not pretty, I think it's because it's all one color. Like there's no shadows like the rest of it, so it kind of just really stands out without needing to. So I kind of just blended everything together while I was talking. Still trying to make the other flowers look decent. So right now what I'm doing is I have a paper towel wrapped around a pencil, and I'm scraping away the paint in the shape that I was trying to do, or paint in. And I do think this is helping a bit, so that you can actually see it, like all the different layers and everything. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to check out one of my other videos. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.